So the build-up to Euro 2012 has already been overshadowed by those allegations of racism and neo-Nazi violence in the two host countries, with football fans being told to be careful travelling around supporting their team.
Yes, Breakfast Graham Satchell has been to Donetsk in Ukraine, where England will play their first match on Monday, to find out more about what those fans can expect when they get there.
The reputation of Ukraine has been battered with allegations of racism and neo-Nazi violence. So Donetsk is something of a surprise. Clean, in places beautiful, the people welcoming, looking forward to the football. We welcome everyone from all countries, this lady says. We want to make friends with English fans. I support the English football team, this man says. We want people from other countries to come here and learn about Ukraine. Trouble is, not many are coming. This is the Shakhtar Donetsk stadium.
When England play their first game here, there will be less than 4,000 fans following them, the lowest for a major tournament in living memory.
Keith Knight is one fan who is going. He's followed England all over the world.
When we went to Croatia, the black players in the team were abused when we were there. I'm not sure that there will be, hopefully not too much trouble out of it. Just hope that's the case.
Keith's hope is that he doesn't witness scenes like this, shocking images of racist violence in a Ukrainian football ground. And what looks like Nazi salutes. Ukraine is predominantly white. Ethnic minorities make up less than 2% of the population. So are Ukrainians dangerous racists? We met a group of fans at Shakhtar Donetsk. Among them, two Moroccan students who've been here for 7 years.
Have you ever had any problems with racism at Shakhtar Donetsk?
I've never seen it, never heard it, this man says. The fans here are interested in me. They ask me where I'm from, but they've never been violent towards me. Racism? No, this man says. I was very surprised by how tolerant people are here. Fans telling one story, pictures suggesting another.
Can you explain this salute that happens in football grounds here?
It's just a cultural thing where they're sort of chanting to each other and putting their arms out. It's definitely, most definitely not a Nazi salute.
And what do they say?
Well, here we use a saying, if my Russian says correctly, Vperod Shakhtar, and it means sort of go forth, Shakhtar.
The police putting on a show of strength. Ukraine does have significant problems with corruption, human rights abuses, press freedom. The chief of police here knows the reputation of his whole country is at stake. Fans will be punished, he says, if they behave rudely to people with different coloured skin. We welcome black England fans here. We believe we can provide a good level of safety. They plant a rose in Donetsk every time a baby is born. There are more than 1 million in the city. But Ukraine will be judged not on its beauty, but its actions in the coming weeks.
And Graham is here with us now. Very interesting to see that, Graham. Do you think fans will be safe in Ukraine from what you saw there?
I think it's really difficult to judge, actually. What I found fascinating out there is that Ukraine definitely, certainly has a problem with a minority of dangerous, violent, racist football fans. Talking to ordinary people, literally everybody that we talked to, were horrified, mortified by the suggestion that Ukraine is a racist country, and quite a lot deny that they even have a problem. And it's a rather difficult circle to square that, because the evidence from the pictures and from testimony is overwhelming. We have assurances from the police, from Shakhtar Donetsk, that everything will go off safely. But whether it will be safe, I think it's a rather a mug's game to predict. I found it fascinating, almost this sort of mass denial if you like, of a problem. And what it reminded me a bit of, I suppose, was Britain in the 1970s, you know, that they do have a problem with it. And our problem, I think, over here hasn't gone away. You know, there are 2,000 England fans who've got banning orders who are prevented from travelling to games like that. Ukraine has a problem, and it hasn't at all resolved it yet. It's got a lot of work to do.
Now, I know you mentioned the numbers, the estimated numbers of travelling England fans. Do you think people have been put off to a degree by the reputation of the country, or is that just the nature of the event?
I think all this thing about racism actually has come out relatively recently. If you were planning to go, you probably would have been planning it months and months ago.
Yeah.
And there are a number of other hurdles. Like, it's quite tricky to get to. It's a long, you know, it's more than 2,000 miles away, Donetsk. You have to travel via Kiev. I found it a totally unbelievably fascinating place, this post-Soviet country with statues of Lenin everywhere. Everything's in Russian, everybody speaks Russian in Donetsk, so there are hurdles there if you're just a normal travelling fan. Nobody speaks English, so that was quite an entertaining challenge, just sort of getting around. Hotel prices have gone up tenfold. There are lots of other things that would put people off. Having said that, I mean, if people do go and there is, you know, fingers crossed there is no trouble, I think they would find it fascinating.
It's very interesting, Graham. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Now, after a year